Hi, I'm Kay Berry-Smith. I'm the Foundation Principal at Insight, the new school which will be starting in 2012. The Insight model initially appealed to me because of its unique status as an independent service under the umbrella of ISV, and it's established as a purpose-built service to meet the learning needs of all students with vision impairment, and that really sets it apart from any other service that exists in Australia at the moment. As Foundation Principal of Insight, I'm in a very privileged position of being able to enact that vision and offering best practice in the education of students with vision impairment. We've been able to look at schools around the world to determine what best practice actually is, and then to incorporate the most effective aspects of those programs and services into Insight's range of services. We'll have the ability to regularly review and evaluate and modify programs to meet the needs of the current cohort of students. Being able to demonstrate to education departments in other states the obvious benefit that students will gain from being in a specialist school for children with vision impairment, hopefully will reignite some of that debate about providing a range of educational placements for students with vision impairments, and in the long term hopefully have benefits for students across the country. For students with vision impairments attending mainstream school, the challenges are many. I think research indicates that learning is around 80% visual, and very obviously teachers teaching in mainstream classrooms are operating within that teaching methodology for a lot of their time. This makes it particularly difficult for young children with vision impairments to develop the same concepts as their sighted peers. Those students who require Braille as their main learning medium require a level of support that's very difficult to provide in a mainstream setting, and requires the support of staff who really understand what it means to be vision impaired and to learn in a different way to what sighted children learn. It's very difficult socially for children with severe vision impairment in a mainstream setting as well. It's essential that they're specifically taught the skills for social interaction, and have opportunities to practice those skills in a whole variety of contexts. This involves intensive and ongoing support over a number of years, not just by the teachers in school, but through good communication with the family, might be through other agencies, sporting groups, leaders in social groups and so on. Insight's able to provide very specific programs to help the children learn their social skills, their independent living skills, all aspects of the expanded core curriculum. I think whether they attend full-time at Insight or part-time, short-term, long-term, that intensive instruction in those particularly challenging areas of the curriculum will accelerate the development of those skills once they return to mainstream. It is a concern of many parents that their child will be socially isolated by attending a specialist school where they have limited peer groups and so on. In actual fact, I think the fact that Insight offers a whole range of placement options. Students can be full-time for an extended period of time, full-time for short-term, which might be a year or two, or they can be in their mainstream school and attending Insight for specific instruction in curriculum areas, maybe a day a week or a day a month. So there's all sorts of placement options available, and I think for every child there are times in their education career where they actually need that intensive support for a very short and specific period of time for very short and specific purposes. The focus since the early 1970s by state education authorities has really favoured integration in mainstream schools as the preferred educational setting for students with disabilities, which includes children who are blind and vision impaired. My experience in over 25 years in the field of vision impairment, along with intensive study and research, indicates that these children make much better academic and social progress through involvement, access to a specialist school, and particularly through support by qualified and experienced teachers. The areas of the expanded core curriculum, along with the specialist methodologies used by the qualified staff, better position students to find their place in the world. They have the social skills, that balance of independence and interdependence, which is so very important for students to learn, the confidence that they can succeed, a very strong sense of optimism. Add to that really good, solid skills in curriculum, mathematical skills, skills in using all the assistive technologies to enable them to access regular mainstream curriculum, the life management skills. All of those together help to form a very well-rounded, confident student who is quite capable of going on to tertiary study or to finding their place in the workforce post-school. With Insight, students will have the option of attending a range of specialist programs to be offered throughout metropolitan Melbourne and to a lesser extent in the country. So we're able to actually support students in most situations to meet their current and individual learning needs.